I'm gonna attempt to not make an excuse for my current state of non-makeup and mess of a room that you can't even really see. Who needs to know that? Nobody. Hi cuties! Today we are doing a tag video because I was tagged by the lovely novel Nana, and I will link her description down below. And we are doing the Writerly Love tag. So both Novel Nana and Heather Salter Pervs made this tag together, so you can check out the original tag on either of their channel, I believe. It's really short, there are only 6 questions, so let's get into it. Question number 1. Which author do you love or have the most books of? Oh boy. Which author do I love? So many. I love so many authors. I have an entire shelf of glory for all the authors that I absolutely love. On that shelf, the shelf of glory is a lot of like single books or maybe a couple by different authors, but I think I know who I have the most of, and I believe that is Marie Lu, because I have an entire shelf that's pretty much all Marie Lu books because I make them alphabetical, but there's so many Lus because I own the Legends trilogy. Well, now it's 4-book series. I have the Young Elites. I have the Kingdom of Bach. I've got Sky Hunter. I've got Wildcard and Warcross. So I have at least 5 different series from her, and let's see, Legend is 4 books, Young Elites, Wildcard, Warcross, Kingdom of Bach. So I have 10 Marie Lu books. I think she wins on how many I have, and I absolutely love her writing, obviously, otherwise I wouldn't have so many Marie Lu books. I think she is just fantastic in creating these very relatable characters and is so diversified in her genre that, because she goes from like fantasy, dystopian to historical fiction, she can bounce all over the place, and it doesn't matter what it is, it's that good. And that's why I think I like her so much, is because in my own writing I bounce a lot between genres, even though you guys haven't seen all the genres that I have written because I haven't published them all, but I do bounce genres quite a bit, and I think I just have that undying respect for Marie Lu for that. To name a few others that I love, I mean, I love Andy Weir, I love Brandon Sanderson, I love Casey McQuiston, I love Libba Bray, I love Lee Bardugo, I love Laura Eve, I love Shay Earnshaw, I love so many. I have so many. Samantha Shannon, there's another one. I'm just gonna look. Alice Oseman, Elizabeth Lim. Elizabeth Lim is also one that I own a lot of books of. It's just she doesn't have as many because I have her like duologies and stuff. So, but yeah, I have a lot of books. Question number 2. What do you love about being a writer? This is actually kind of a weird question for me right now because it's just kind of part of me. Like it's the one hobby, I would say, that I've always had. You know, I've fallen in and out of a lot of different hobbies and things in my life, but writing is something that has stuck with me since I started, probably in like 6th grade, I think, is when I really started like trying to create books. Didn't publish them. Didn't publish my first one till 2016. I've kind of always, that's why I have such a cache of stories that I can go back and read for shenanigan times and reading stupid bad writing of me from, you know, high school and stuff, because I've kept them all. But I used to actually, if you want to go real far back in this, when I first started writing stuff, I started with handwriting, but I didn't like that very much. And then I collected a bunch of floppy disks, like old floppy disks. And each individual floppy disk was its own book. So it was just a Word document, and it was that. Each one was labeled whichever story, and sometimes I would have days where I'd open up the big plastic container of them, and I'd go like this, and I'd be like, I'm working on this story today. That was me in like middle school and high school. That's when I had those, and yeah. date myself quite a bit, but I remember doing that quite a lot. So many floppy disks, because it's just a part of me. I can't pinpoint a specific thing that I love. It's just who I am now and always have been. I guess I just love creating. I love escaping the reality I live in and living vicariously through my characters, even when I torture them, I guess. I probably need a therapist. I guess that's kind of my answer. Does that make sense? Sure, why not? Question number 3. What is one thing that you love most about the writer life? I guess right now, because my life right now is a mess, but I will say that I love the streams. I love streaming for writing. I love going to other people's streams for writing, even if I'm just like lurking and you don't know I'm there. I may secretly be there. I like that this is how the community for writers has evolved. There's ups and downs, there's pros and cons to that, but I really like coming together with other writers on streams and just kind of co-working, parallel working, what's the term it was? Body doubling, that one. I like to do body doubling with writing, and I think it helps me a lot. And I think for other people, I guess it helps them a lot too, because people show up to my streams to do it, and to other people's streams, and they host their own streams, and it's just streams all the time. I like that. I like that we can all kind of build our little community. If it gets too big though, I'm out. I can't handle that, but I like our small one. It's because like the old idea of a writer's life is very solitary, and while it still is, I like how streams make it so that we are all solitary together, you know? You don't feel so alone when you're doing streams, and so that's probably the newest part of writer life that I enjoy. Question number 4. What book from childhood made you fall in love with reading? I can tell you some of my favorite books as a kid, and that is Sesame Street's House of 7 Colors. Love that book. I don't have a firm memory on the books I really loved as a child. Like, I remember some, but I can't remember their actual name of some chapter books. But I was never fully a reading child. I know I read, but that my personality as a child was all musicals. It was all singing. It was always rehearsals. It was always that. So my real reader life did not start until I was an adult. I know that the books that got me back into reading a lot were Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo and the Selection series by Kiera Cass. I distinctly remember voraciously reading the Selection series. It took me a while to get into Six of Crows, but once I had done it, I was sold. Once I'd gotten about halfway through that book, I was in it, and I just zoomed through Crooked Kingdom. And those are the ones that brought it back to life for me. If I try really hard to think what books I loved as a kid, is it the Polk Street? No, it's not Polk Street, kids. It was these weird chapter books where it was this school. It didn't have a 13th floor, and weird things happened. Wayward something. Hold on.
20 minutes later.
Sideways stories? Sideways stories for Wayside School. Oh, I thought of it. It's there. Sideways Stories for Wayside School. That's the books. I remember reading that series, but obviously not remembering the title, but you know, it's a long title and it was a long time ago and my memory is shit. Those were probably the books that I read the most as a young little reader during our reading hour in elementary school. Those books. Again, I was all musicals back then, that I didn't really have my true reader awakening until I was much older, and I would like to normalize that for people because not everyone had the same experiences growing up for the lovely world of booktube and authortube, and I don't think anyone should be shamed for being late to the game. Just FYI. Anybody else late to the game in this? Because I feel almost a little bit ashamed of it that it took me so long, but now, look at me now, baby. Question number 5. Who, in authortube or in real life, gives you encouragement / support and helps you to believe in yourself enough to conquer your writing goals / dreams? This is who gives me encouragement and support. I have the problem of not being able to receive it well because of my own those. There's been people in the past who have given me encouragement and support who no longer necessarily do, and it's not to like any fault of their own. It's just, you know, we've drifted apart or something, living our own lives, but I know that those people still likely support me. But I'm going to mention the people who currently right now in my life are my constant source of encouragement and support, even if I don't always accept said encouragement and support and want to wallow in my own disaster of a life. But those people are basically Hala and Fee. You know it, they're usually my co-host. Spence as well has been a great comfort to me, and I would probably say them as the top 3 people, because they're the top 3 people I end up talking to the most when I'm feeling really, really shitty. I mean, everybody on stream does this. So if we are all very supportive of each other on stream, and that's where I get a lot of my motivation, is actually from doing streams. I feel there's been a change in the climate. Something's in the air. Sorry, random Star Kid moments happen a lot. Just a change in how I produce now, and I do better on streams. I write the most when we're on stream. This feels really weird. Is this an okay video? Are you guys enjoying this? I feel like it's getting too deep and I'm admitting weird truths about myself on camera that don't necessarily need to be admitted, but there you go. Question number 6. What is or would be your debut novel's dedication? I have a debut novel. I have pulled up the dedication because I forgot, but the dedication is in 3 parts and I'm kind of embarrassed about it. But I have For the Cuties, especially Michelle, Becky, and Hala. Without your support, I would not have finished this. Basically, that's the Japan crew, by the way. Because when I was writing Ashport, the debut novel is Search for the Phoenix, by the way. There it is. That book was written both coming back from Japan and going back to Japan, and that's the crew. Huge thank you to my sister Emily for the amazing designs and counsel when I needed it. Emily is the cover artist and sister whom I live with. And finally, also to my father Patrick and my sister Valerie, you better not be reading this. Mom and Emily, you can read it. That's the dedication, because my dad and my sister Valerie are like very literary, and I don't feel like I'm up to their standards and feel shame for what I write a lot of the time. I don't think that they will enjoy it, which is why I told them not to read it, because they probably wouldn't enjoy it. And I get that my mom and Emily can read it, but they're also like, they don't read, so there's no fear of it really. None of my family needs to read the book. It's fine. I don't want them to. Anyway, that's the dedication. Anyway, the battery is dying and I need to tag 3 people in this video. So we are tagging Tamama for Sherzies. I am tagging you. I am going to also tag Hala, because you knew it was coming. And I'm going to tag Nikki Swanson. I'm tagging you. You're going to do this. You're going to do this. And you could do it on a stream. You don't have to make it a video. You just have to answer the questions. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go. This was awkward and weird. I don't know why it was, but it is. The brain is all mush today. So anyway, if you guys have questions or comments, leave them down below, or on Facebook, Tumblr, and Twitter. Check me out on Ko-fi and support me there. Also check me out on Twitch. I stream every Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the most part. Sometimes I don't, but for the most part I try to, especially on Fridays for the writing streams. And I will see you next time, cuties. Bye! Please stay. Ah, the joys of not having a lot of time in your life to film videos. Let me just die real quick before we start this. Everything look really stupid? Probably.